Babi Actif, good morning Facebook, Bodida, Paub, and via di Natasha. My name's Natasha and I'm here with you this morning. It's Friday, 10:30, and we're going to do a fitness session specifically targeting mums who are 6 months postnatal or up to a year or even beyond, if you're finding yourself joining into this group, stumbling across Facebook and finding me here through the night or through the afternoon. Welcome. If you're of course watching it on replay, we're happy to have you. So these sessions are designed for mums, specifically for mums, integrating movements to stimulate posture, return to posture, better alignment, generally feeling fitter, more energized, focused on mum movement. And today we will be using a band, a couple of bands here that I'm using. I'm also using some light dumbbells handy that you might want to use, something weighted objects which you probably have in your workspace already if you're currently training. If not, you could activate your hands today with thin air. Those are for the bicep curls that we're doing. And then today, as an alternative for a ball, if you haven't got a ball handy, that it's only just to hold on my chest today. Actually, we're doing our rotations. We've been doing our static rotations with a lunge, and that's to work on the obliques with a focus of control using the Pilates breath. So I'm just going to grab a cushion which I can use instead. Don't have to use a ball. Have a drink of water ready, and just making a note on safety. Just make sure that your space that you're working out in is very, very prepared for you, so you're not going to slip on anything. Baby might be with you, so of course you can engage with baby as much as you like through the sessions. You can count the repetitions. I'm playing a little bit of light music in the background, and yes, enjoy the session, but please don't participate if you're not feeling 100% well and fully recovered after the birth of your baby. And if you want to know more information about that, please get in touch with that. That generally includes things like unhealed scarring, pulling and dragging in your pelvic floors, or any previous health condition that you might have had that is unchecked at this time. So only participate if you're feeling fully fit and well, and we can just get started. I don't know about you, but I feel a bit chilly today, so I've popped on a cardigan, and then you'll know when I've got warmer because I'll take my cardigan and my socks off. I've got a mat here. You don't have to have a mat to set your space up. So I'm going to pop some music on, my warm-up notes for us, and then we can go. So we've got some notes here. We'll finish off our session today with a small chat at the end like we have been doing. So today we'll be having a little bit of a chat about stretching, continuing on our stretching, and I think we're ready to go. So who have we got watching so far? Hi Janet! Oh, Jeanette. Hi Janet, I'm reading from a distance. Jeanette, welcome. I hope you're feeling good today. And I'm just setting this up again, just double check that. You can see and hear me, I'm sure. Get yourselves ready to just posture check. Posture check. Have a drink of water ready. I'm already a bit thirsty today. Always happens if I put a little bit of salt on my tomatoes. So I hope you're feeling fantastic this morning. Looking forward to feeling even more energised today. So picking up from where we've been on our exercise, doing our warm-ups. If you haven't, don't worry, you'll be doing it all again now. Take your shoulders up, back, down and round. And again, up, back, down and around. And really just easing out any niggles. You've been sleeping funny with baby. If you're breastfeeding with baby, that'll be sleeping on your side, really kind of crumpled up. If you're sharing a bed with more than one child or a pet as well. So we tend to find ourselves sleeping in odd positions, don't we? And that can bring us out. Tight shoulders. So release here. Start a small side bend. And just start noticing your feet on the floor beneath you. How do your feet feel? Can you feel all four corners of your feet? From left to right and front to back. And I'm just doing this movement with no Pilates breath. This is a very free movement. A mind like me, I've got my chandelier there. See it? I might come forward. Am I in front? Yeah, I'm in front now. So make these movements just feel very light. And then just open and close the chest. So again, become aware of your posture. There are several principles in Pilates. There's focus, precision, control, alignment, flow, concentration. Did I say concentration? Connection to breath. Did I say concentration and connection to breath? Good morning, Suin, Bodhida, Sadaki, Bodhida. Who's watching? Who's watching today? Mavanwi, Bodhida, Mavanwi. Bodhida to me. So set yourself up in a space, Suin. And see if you can get enough space to move around freely with your arms joining in here. We'll start to practice now with our Pilates breath, so that's perfect timing. I'm going to pop my socks off. So for the Pilates breath, we'll just do that to connect our minds into our bodies and remember that we can use our breath during our movements. So here, hands are coming onto the rib cage, and what I want you to do is just feel where the rib is. Feel where the pelvis is, and then feel where your leg is. Depending how tall you are, you'll notice there's a gap between the top of the pelvis and the last rib. Mine's only very small, so I'm not very tall. And then just draw your hands around that part of the rib. And then just place your hands where it feels comfortable and you can feel an expansion. We're going to do 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out. Towards the inhalation coming into expanding into the rib cage and not blowing and popping up into the front of the body. So 3 breaths in, natural, blow the candle out for me. Let's just do that right now. Here we go, breathing in. Exhale. In. Feeling expansion. Good. I hope you just felt your tummy muscles pulling back towards the waistline of your trousers and your pants, and a flaring action on the rib cage. So when we breathe out, we're blowing out. You can even just practice that maybe twice. Just practice the breathing in, expanding, and then breathing out. And imagine that you're blowing a candle out, and you should feel some connection here and activation of the abdominal wall. Just feel that pulling away from your hands without hardly any effort. Breathing in. And again. So even without consciously having to pull your tummy muscles back as if you're trying to get into those tight pants, you don't even have to do that. You can just let the breath come out of your body, more focused and more conscious when you're moving, and that will just activate the deep transverse abdominal muscles. And those are the muscles that we're really working with on the core system, as well as, of course, your internal, external obliques. The multifidus muscle is a long muscle all the way up the spine, and we're still working around this corset, aren't we, here? Pelvic floor underneath you, and that works alongside you with the breath. Even if you don't actively work on it consciously, there is still a response there. It helps when there's a really focused and targeted breath. I hope that helps. Should we do some more movements? Check into the feet, check into the knees, check into the shoulders, hip. Find a neutral spine here. Shoulders are down in their sockets. Let's take this leg to a tap. You can put your hands on the hips to start with if you want to. Point, 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 come back. Same leg. Soften this knee just so that you're not locking out. Okay? Tall, transferring the weight from one foot to this foot. One more. So straight away beginning to focus. Let's roll the shoulders and let's do it all again on this side. Check your posture here. So feel lovely and long through these levers. Quite graceful, controlled movement. Light on your feet, very focused on the ends of your body here, the fingers and the toes. Let's try the other side, but adding in a squat. I've added in arms. So gently pulse raise. 4, squeeze shoulder blades, return, squat. Drop your shoulders, open the chest. Enjoy this movement. Other side, here we go. 4, 3, are we balancing well? 2, I'm not using the Pilates breath, I'm just really coordinating my movement. My last one here. Let's do a little ragdoll here. Ragdoll. Is that getting you a bit warmer? It's getting me a bit warmer. So just try this movement with your legs as they are. Let your arms become very much like spaghetti. And just listen into the body, see if the spine likes this movement. See if it feels any different for you with your legs really close together. All the time we're increasing circulation through the body. And we're focusing our minds a little bit more so that we can become more engaged with the exercises. Excellent. I'm going to go side to side now. I think it's ready time to take my cardigan off. There we are. Side to side. A little bit of a twist. I'm not using Pilates breath, I'm using a flowing movement. Point that toe if it feels good. A bit more of an extended ragdoll here. See where your arms want to go. Drop the shoulders, try to avoid them creeping up to your ears. Fabulous. Let's work a little bit more into a squat here. So really reaching up out of your body. I've turned my feet outside to the corners of my room. And I'm just taking some full breaths and in and out. Should be getting a bit warmer. Lovely. So let's take ourselves side to side again. Reach your arms to the back of the room and feel a bit of a stretch through the chest. Let's open and close that. So take your body to it feels good, to that point of feeling good. Do 2 more. Drop those shoulders, extend through the fingers. Last one, let's stay here. Big smiles. Stretching through. Last one. And let's bring ourselves walking those feet in or jumping if you're feeling up to it. And then spread those feet again, hip width apart, up and down on your toes. No Pilates breaths yet, just here on your toes. And checking in with your balance. What I want you to do is if you're not feeling too steady today, I want you to use support. Something in the room that doesn't have wheels on it. And then I want you to have a think about standing on one leg for me. Have a go. Stand on one leg and just rotate that ankle. And then rotate it the other way. And then put that foot down. Follow through a little bit of your wrist rotations and the other way. Opening that chest all the time. Lots of release of tension. Can we stand on the other leg? Can we roll the ankle? 3 times, 4 times one way, maybe 5, and then the other way. And then I want you to just curl up your toes and then release them, just like your hands. 2 more times. Curl up your toes gently and release them. And again, 1 more. And then release. Fabulous. I'm going to start tapping back now. And then I'm going to start lifting my arms forward. So join me. Tap back. Tap back. And as you go back with these arms, I want you to imagine that somebody's pulling your arm gently behind you and your triceps are being worked a little bit. Fabulous. For those of you feeling a bit more confident with tapping behind you, I want you to start bending the back knee. So dropping those shoulders down into the chest as a gentle tap back. Bend that knee. Notice any changes in your body's position that don't feel right. We're not symmetrical beings, but we can bring our awareness to where we feel more balanced. Fabulous. Let's do 4 more each leg. 4. Adding a little bit of a lowering in into these knees, so loading the knee here. Focusing on where you place your foot on the return. 2 more. Present that chest forward. You're getting warmer. Last one each side. and relax. Well done. Have a fidget. I'm going to turn my light on. Makes it a difference, I'm not sure. And I'm going to go straight into our exercises. So we've got a timer today. I've managed to pinch the family tablet so I can concentrate on the timer a little bit today. So we're going to do a series of forward lunges, and we'll be working on our pelvic floor. So if you're used to working on your pelvic floor, as you come back out of your lunge, that's when I want you to do your pelvic floor right there. So I want you to try and have a little chat with your pelvic floor anywhere along the sling of muscles, anywhere along that chain of muscles, back, middle or front. You can just engage that if you want to add on another layer of work. I've got a message. Watching. Oh, you're feeding. Oh, to me. Oh, I remember those days. So you can watch this on a replay, and you can see how you feel with a set of the exercises we're doing swimming later, no problem. So we've got your bands here, whoever's joining in. Just have a pull on the band or your belt and just feel it. Okay? Pull the band, and we'll do 8 with the Pilates breath with just the band before we integrate the 2 movements which we have been doing with the lunge and this chest opening exercise. So targeting the posture and targeting the Pilates breath for you. Drop your shoulders, soggy bit in the middle of your belt. Inhale to prepare and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, big smile, drop your shoulders. Start working on cinching your belly button. Noticing how it's affected by the out breath again. Might feel it more on the lower abdomen. 3 more. Forgive me if I've done 1 more or 1 less. So just awakening that body. Does that feel good? If you're using thin air, you can also pull. There's just less traction, the difference. Okay, so I'm going to walk away from my chandelier. I'm going to bring the band up, or if you've got thin air, it's the same movement. Stretch around the shoulders. Let's do this 2 more times. Really working into the shoulder girdle, which strongly relates to the hip girdle. Everything comes from this structure, this amazing structure we have for our spine. So that'll help you loosen up. Are you ready for some lunges? If you want to join in, you can pull the band across your chest as you step forward. So if your knees are feeling a little bit uncomfortable today, avoid depth. You don't have to go to a right angle. And try the Pilates breath if it feels good. And we'll just do a minute at your speed. So I'm going now. And I'm working to the 2 movements, which takes a lot of concentration. We're at that 6-month mark. So we've got a little bit more energy than we did when babies were in their 4th trimester. Are you feeling pelvic floor there? Does that feel good? Do you remember that action? I'm going to turn here so I can see my clock. We're over halfway. Notice I'm trying to keep my head and chest up and not fold my body forward too much on this lunge. 15 seconds. Heel is flat on the floor. Bending that back knee as much or as little as you wish. Stop if you've had enough. This is my last one. And relax. Roll the shoulders. Take a little wiggle with the hips. Notice how you've been moved in terms of your breath and your concentration with that movement. Okay, this next one is getting straight down onto the floor. So we're practicing going straight down onto the floor. We've been coming down onto our toes. So check your posture. Use support if you need it. Come down onto your toes and feel your body moving for you. And we're working on a little bit of a hover here. So we've been coming out onto our knees, feeling our posture here, loading the wrist. If you're not comfortable with loading the wrist, I can give you lots of exercises that don't load the wrist, so please personal message or comment, hover or return to plank. So here is a hover, knees coming off the floor, about 1 inch, a couple of centimetres, and then coming back up. So This is a slow movement, so we're not doing a burpee, we're doing a movement that you might use to pick your stuff up off the floor to organise baby. If you feel like you're beyond the hover and you're ready for the plank, you're doing the plank here and you're lifting your pelvis up until you feel fully engaged across the front and loading the wrist here. The chest is over the hands. The face is definitely over the hands. I'm going to do 2 more of those. You can choose what you want to do. Do you want to just come down into a hover, knees off the floor, load those wrists and come straight back, or do you want to go into plank? So great exercise for grabbing stuff off of the floor that you've dropped. Present the chest forward, shift your weight over your wrists and come back. Tuck yourself in. Well done. Rotate the wrists if that was a little bit uncomfortable. Tends to get me in the wrists. It's perfectly normal that the wrists will feel taxed, and the more you do that exercise, the stronger your wrists become. You bone load your wrists, and the flexion, unless you've got previous wrist injury, will just improve on your hands and then your arms and your wrists. Okay, so we've done those. We're 30 seconds now with a pillow. If you need support again, here we're doing a static lunge. So this lunge is coming down and we're staying here, but we're working on a rotation. So in the beginners, 6 weeks to 6 months, we've been using rotation with a Pilates breath. So here we're going to use that Pilates breath. So this is 30 seconds. Grab a cushion, or you can use thin air. Choose a leg. Roll your shoulders back. You don't have to bend this knee too much, but just be aware that you're loading that leg. And then we're going to start here. So we're going to turn. Exhale there. So your knees are staying facing forward. And you're halfway now. Stop if you've had enough. If it feels too much, or it's getting too sweaty, feeling uncomfortable. Inhale to prepare, exhale twist. And we're done on that leg. That was 30 seconds, have a march. Take the other leg, roll your shoulders, check your posture here, and find yourself feeling similar to the other side. So feel where you feel similar. So you're sinking through the pelvis, your shoulders and your posture haven't changed. Excellent position. Here we go, breathing in. Turn to that leg. Take the head with you. And just work on controlling the movement through your thoracic spine. If the breath work feels a bit too complicated, just do the movement. This is about control and focus. You're over halfway. Stop and come out a bit if it feels too challenging. You could do 10 seconds. You could do 3 sets of 10 seconds. 2 sets of 20, last one. And come back, have a wiggle. How does that feel? Because it should feel good. Feel the lactic acid building up into your legs, and you should be a lot warmer, a bit more focused, a bit brighter in your thinking. And what I will say is, because we're short on time in these sessions, I've just put a note to remind myself here that if you are watching this on replay, you can just press pause and then you can go back a bit and you can just do that couple of minutes again as a second set, okay? Because that's a good one to do. You can do it 2 or 3 times depending on how you're feeling. All right, so I'm moving on now to a bicep curl. So this is where you can use thin air, or I found some pots of paint which felt really good, like dumbbells, you know, in the shed. You can use your dumbbells here, whatever feels weighted for you. What we're going to do is focus on the arms, really strong biceps we have, lifting up baby, of course, strong triceps, strong biceps, strong shoulders, strong body. So we want to keep all those muscles really working because that's a really useful part of the body. Like, it all is useful to be toned, isn't it? It's all useful to be working those muscles to keep you more ready to do your mum job, your mum movements. Bicep curls. Biceps are actually quite strong, so they can go a lot heavier than you think. We're only going to do 12 of these curls. What I'm going to ask you to do is, in between, offer a calf raise. So this is about ankle stability. This is about bringing some control into your movements here, up and down, not forward and back, but more up and down through the ball of the foot. So if you're going too high, your feet will start to wobble side to side. You'll start to supinate. like that, and pronate. So we just want to come straight up as much as we can, as opposed to forward and back. So try and come up. You'll see what I mean when you get there. And we're going to try that for those who are more progressed onto one leg, so the balance challenge is there. So people who are feeling really steady, they can do it with a steady leg. So take a weight that's appropriate to you. I'm taking a weight that's appropriate to me today. I'm doing 12 bicep curls, and then I'm going to stop, and after every repetition I'm going to lift onto one leg. So that's for the people who are very conditioned and have moved on from calf raises. Otherwise, please stay on to 2 legs. Okay, so let's go. This is with the Pilates breath as an option. So you can inhale, exhale, and then just let your breath go here. 1, yeah? 2. It should be a little bit challenged. We want to find a challenge. 3, 4, 5. So focusing on concentration as well. Light hand grip. 6. And lots of control. Yeah? 7. Or just keep going in the middle. So stay with the most comfortable option. So I'm going to stay with you for the beginners. 8. Yeah? 9. Blow that candle out. 10. 2 more. Last one. Did that feel okay? Can you drop down one weight, give it a squat, take this dumbbell, and then just lift it forward, roll your shoulders. Or your weight. And I want you to feel how your muscles are pulling across the front line. We'll just do 10 lifts to the front. Use a Pilates breath to really integrate that movement. Drop your shoulders down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blowing out there. 5. Present your chest forward. 6, 7, 8. Just up to shoulder height will do. Good control. Let's do 2 more. So you can feel that you need to stop. Usually we work a couple more repetitions into that point when you feel a bit fatigued. You get to know your body. And as a beginner, we're just focusing on doing as much as we can with really, really good form, of course. And as we progress, we just want to make sure your form's really good. Are you feeling fantastic? I hope you are. Time for me to have a very quick drink. I'll check my watch. It's coming up to 11. So remember, you can do these twice. You can do those sets twice. And so a short time, I'm going through them quite quickly. We have our guest exercise today on our 6 months to 12 months. How's Timmy doing now? How's Timmy doing? We have our 6 months to 12 months. We have a star guest every week. So you get picking up tips as you're watching this for exercises that you can layer into your other sessions and work on. Today's is plank to downwards facing dog. So again, you're feeling quite strong, much stronger than you were when you were at 4 months postnatal or 5 months postnatal. You may even be beyond that stage, so working to your own level. So I'm going to do going down, I'm going to roll down, I'm going to go into downwards facing dog, and then I'm going to come back up into a plank. Or down, down, up. So let's just take a Pilates roll down to get there. So stretch it through the fingers, put your chin gently on your chest, and just notice that you're really generous in your knees here. This is you coming down, as if you're peeling away from a wall. Watch the arms, they just let go here. Look at the knees. We're aiming down. And as we go down, we're releasing until we feel completely supported by our bodies and our movements through the floor. Come down nice and slowly, come down onto the floor. Think about what you want to do here. So if you're at the beginning and you haven't done this before, you might want to do 1 second hover like we did in the beginning on our exercises, and then build up to coming back up, rolling back up, what we did in the beginning. Or you could build up to 1-2 seconds without compromising your posture here. I'm trying to keep this as feeling aligned as you can within your own nature and your own spine shape. Lift your chest. You can do 3 seconds. So what I'm going to do is take myself forward. So that's one option. I'm going to take myself forward into my plank, and I'm going to take myself up today, and then on the one mat, and then I'm going to come down for one, and then drop down to the knees. For those who want to, that might be enough. Or you can do it twice without coming to the knees. So this is 2. Find out where your breath is. Just present that chest forward. Feel your body. That was 2. So you could rest there, of course, or you could come to do 3. So your challenge today was to do 1, 2 or 3 and then come down. Have a little rest here. And a big deep breath or a sigh. And then walk your way forwards. Let's have a look at our next exercise. It brings us down onto the floor for our side bend. We've been working on moving here and lifting up in this area. So I want you to have a go at that. You might feel better supported if you have a cushion underneath your bottom, which is going to lift up the hips, the same as when you were pregnant exercising, which is encouraging you to have a little bit of a lift. And also for the rest of your life, if that feels tight for you in the hips, you just pop a cushion underneath you, give you a bit of help there. So just want you to feel this movement without too much focus on the Pilates breath. Just take full breaths in and out here, and just notice where your hand has naturally put itself on the floor. So where does that feel good? So give yourself lots of support, spreading out through the palms of the hands, and then just lifting that chest. What we're not doing is locking out the elbow, so we don't put pressure on our joints. You'll notice, particularly if you're hypermobile, you might be feeling, you're a little bit too bendy there. So just become mindful of how your body is asking you to translate the weight of your body through joint to joint points. So just lift, feel if that's okay. If that's not okay on the wrist, a fist is also doable. And a lot of people find it, as they get older, the fist might be their only option if they've got wrist issues. So try your 1 more or 2 more, and then what we'll do is we'll add in a Pilates breath. So this is the beginner's version. For the people who are moving on, they're using the Pilates breath as well. We'll come down and we'll do a side plank. So just see where you feel with the movement. So let's do one with a breath. Inhale, exhale. Really just feeling long through that side body. I'm going to do 6 of those. Stay with this exercise if it's more comfortable. For those who are moving on, we can come down here with a Pilates side bend. There's a little bit more involved, but we can work here as a modification. So knee stacked on knee. Feel that you can roll your hips back, then you can roll them forward and notice where they feel aligned. Notice the shoulder is above your wrist. If you're like me today and your elbow's arguing with you, you can create more support underneath your elbow. Open that chest, lift the hips here, and aim to get this arm up. So I'm going to do is float this arm to the side on my up lift, and I'm going to try and bring myself as much on the side as I can without tipping my body too far forward or too far back. And you'll know when you're going because you can feel it, and that's fine. Just feel it. Just use the focus on your body through the movement. Let's just do 6, okay? So either that mermaid, stretching up with the breath or through the movement, or stay with this. Inhale to prepare, exhale, lift. 1. So thinking about that lovely lifting up through the hip. 2. So lifting and lowering consciously through the spine. Neck is wanting to stay in line. Present your chest. 4. Notice where you're feeling that work. 5. Are you getting warmer? Are you breathing deeply? And 6. Come down onto your side, and we'll have a little quadricep stretch here. So you might want to make a pillow with your arm and then extend that leg out beneath you, and just see if you can do a little quadricep stretch here. When we did our little downwards facing dog there, we also did a little stretch through the calves and hamstrings. You can of course linger there if it feels good. I'm stretching towards the knee and the thigh, and noticing that I'm wobbling a little bit forward and backwards, so just feeling that movement there. And then I'm going to relax and do my second set. So coming up, so choose, did you want to go back to the mermaid or were you happy here? Let's do that again. Just allow yourself to breathe deeply throughout the movement, and if the Pilates breath isn't quite working, just focus on a full inhale and a full exhale. Okay, here we go. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull those muscles back towards the spine. Last one. So short sets of 6 will help, and they'll help you to really figure out how your body's moving, and where you feel that you need to focus to really work equally through the sides of the body, and just improving your posture as we move on. So let's go to the other side, and straight away we'll just practice here, just lift and lower. So even just this movement here is a great movement to do in terms of stretch. And you can open up as much as you like there. Just explore the space around you to look for where this stretching feels good. So you can take your arm, circle it. Or you can carry on with the lifting and lowering. So all the same cues apply. Watching for the wrist, spreading the fingers out brightly, lifting through the hips. If that feels enough for you today, and that feels like it's where you want to be in terms of your energy, take that option. Otherwise, you're coming down onto the floor, stacking the hips on the shoulders and the knees on the knees. And then we're going to use support today. If you've got a bit of discomfort on there, hands flat on the floor, lift the chest, present it just like you do in your standing postures. Lift up. Feel how that feels for you. We're going to take 6. Inhale to prepare. Watch we're not swiveling too far forward or too far back, and that helps you to again realise what your body is in today's exercise. Inhale. So focus on that. Don't worry if every rep isn't perfect. This isn't about perfection, this is about getting you feeling fantastic and just enjoying the movements. 3, 2, lifting up through the hips, and 1, long through the arm, and coming down. Lying down onto the side, quadricep stretch, so between the hip and the knee. Just take a little breather there. Give yourself a little pat on the back for having a go at the exercises. And just make a mental note, which ones do you enjoy, which ones do you find easy, and which ones feel a little bit more challenging or require more concentration. A couple of breaths to relax, and we're on time. And enjoying lying down on the floor and resting. Okay, shall we do that second set? So up we come. So short sets, repeat these. You can of course do more than 2 sets and build confidence. So look for more of a quality of work as opposed to how many repetitions can you do. So if there's a lot of challenges on at the moment, fitness challenges, can you do 450 reps? How long does it take you? Well, we're not working in those zones. We're working in the completely restorative zones still, but progressing in terms of our focus and our concentration so that we're ready to move on to more intense exercise when we're fully recovered. Of course, these workouts would suit a beginner anyway, so if you're watching this as a beginner, great place to start. Well done for coming along. Inhale to prepare, stack joints and joints and joints on top. Inhale, exhale. Look for the alignment, look for where your body's giving a little bit. Where's it saying, oh? Again, if you've got shoulder injury, this isn't a good exercise. So we would do a seated side bend or a standing side bend. Plenty of other alternatives, so you can always comment on, let me know, and I'll give you the appropriate exercise. I'm going to do 2 more. Lifting up my hips a little bit higher if I can on the last one, really feeling my shoulder now. And relax, come back up onto your bottom for me. Cross your legs if you feel comfortable sitting with your legs crossed. And just give yourself a little rock side to side. We're going to go back down onto our backs to finish off. We're going to go down onto our backs to bring our knees onto our chest and work a little bit more into the abdominals, and that will create a little bit of a stretch as well with the hamstrings. So just ask yourself how you're feeling from here. If this is enough for you today, maybe take a break and then come back for the chat. I'm going to take my feet together and hip hitch my pelvis towards my feet and then lift the chest. And just notice where it feels that I have to work hard here. For me, I have to work really hard in my upper trapezius, my neck, and the back of my shoulders here to sit up straight. Have a little wiggle here if it feels good. And then we'll prepare ourselves to come down onto the floor. So I'm going to cross my legs one more time. Just going to put my arms up to the sky, stretch out through the wrists and the fingers, and then tent peg these fingers, place them on the floor next to me and lift the chest. So stretching the chest. And this time I'm really exaggerating it so that the sternum, so the rib cage, is all coming very far forward. So it's creating a little extension in the spine. If that feels good, stay with that. We'll do 3 breaths. If not, just leave your arms there, drop your shoulders, and see if you can maintain the breath work. Breathing in. So static stretch. And release. Roll out any tension. Let's come back onto our backs now. So I'll be lying down on my back. Straight away have a knee hug and feel the floor beneath you. We're almost at the end of the session here. So make your safe space comfortable. Come down onto your back. And then feel, when you extend your feet without knocking into anything, just take one knee onto the chest and just give it a little wiggle side to side. Notice how that feels in the hip. Does it feel smooth? Does it feel there's some fatigue there? And then drop that down, try the other leg. I'm realising that my chin is neutral, my shoulders are spread across the mat. So using that same upper body posture, the shoulders are down and away from my ears. I'm letting my abdomen be soft here, and I'm working into this big hip joint. So I'm going to take a chance here to change the position of my legs alternately like this. So just ask your hamstrings how they're feeling before you start. And for those who are feeling that they're completely healed, and when you lift your head up, you can do a check on that. Lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Notice that there's no bulging along this midline. There's great tensegrity here. It's very well protected. Air is coming out of your mouth as you exercise, so you can start to begin to lift on your alternate single leg stretch. So this is a beginner single leg stretch. Head on the floor if that feels too tense or tight, anywhere on the spine, cervical spine, upper thoracic, any twinges on the neck. Let's not do that. Let's keep our heads on the floor for this one. Shall we do a minute? So if you know the Pilates breath, please don't roll up like that if you are just joining us and you don't have good core connection with the roll to the side to come up. So let's do a minute. And if you want to try breathing out as the knees come towards you, have a go. If that doesn't feel right and you just want to keep getting the legs to move in a coordinated way, go with that. This is a minute. You'll see me rolling over to look at my clock. So here. So just notice if that feels good. So I'm not straining my neck. My neck is used to being up in this position. Remember, the weight of the head is quite heavy. 5 or 6 kilos can be. So it should be keep breathing through that. That's halfway. Take a rest here, or put your head on the floor and carry on. Point the feet if it feels good, if it's not causing any cramping. Just grab around below the knee, pressing into the body. I'm going to come up and do 15 seconds here. Two and one. And rest. Stretching up through the body here. Clasp the hands together if it feels good. If that doesn't, just reach up and extend. The wider the arm position here, the easier it is on the neck and the shoulders. This is a little bit challenging on the shoulders and the neck. I'm keeping my hands clasped. I'm just going to hook around my knee. Rotate that ankle. We are coming towards the end of our workout. Well done. Let's bring this leg up. If it feels good, drop that leg down. If it doesn't, bring it back up. In the lower back, if there's any discomfort, bend that knee. Take this leg up and then take it down. Let's do that one more time. Keep this knee pointing to the ceiling. Point and flex the toe. And down. Notice how that feels in the body. Take this leg, bring it up. Keep this knee pointing to the ceiling. Neck is long, shoulders on the floor. Have a little stretch there. Hands can come clasp again. Little squeeze here, lowering. This is for releasing any tension in the lower back. And asking the hips as well. So this big flexion on the hip here. Flexion on the knee, of course. Then when you're ready, bring it up. See how that feels for you. There's a very old-fashioned saying. It says, no pain, no gain. So this is something that we talked about in fitness classes in the 80s. So just work out how many years ago, how out of date no pain, no gain is in terms of terminology in classes. So look for what feels good in your body. You don't have to be in any type of suffering level to get an effective workout. Rolling onto your side is a good tip if you're feeling that you need to. I'm sitting cross-legged again on my bottom. I'm just going to check in on the time there and see if we've got enough time to do that second set. We have. We've got enough time to do the second set. So what I just did was with the bent leg, so I was catching the knees alternately, and I was doing it for a minute. So you can do that a lot slower, or you can really focus on the breath if you want to. Excuse me, so as you're exhaling, so inhaling, and then changing leg. Knee comes towards you as you exhale. So I'm going to take that one step further, and I'm going to introduce it with a straight leg. So you'll see my legs are coming up alternately straight. So I'll do the same thing I did for a minute, and then I'll give you an option. I'll tell you when it's about half a minute, and then you can decide if that's better for you just to keep your head on the floor. We'll go for all those checks now. See how you feel with that for a minute. So let's go. We've got a minute. We can do that in a minute. We can do some more stretching. So making sure you're comfortable in your space, taking yourself down, and then feeling what you just did in that movement. So you can also just do all of this again on replay. And if you feel like you just want to finish off your session with some bridges and some pelvic tilts here, go for that. So here, I'm going to start myself off like that. But you can do this option as discussed, or you can take your leg up. So notice that you will be doing it like that. So this is a big hamstring stretch. Watch that chin's tucking in there. Or with the Pilates breath, it becomes more intense and it becomes a lot more of an abdominal exercise. So depending on the strength of your abdominals and your heeled abdominal wall, you can lift your head up to meet you here in this position and swap over. So don't worry about how high you get, but just notice that you don't have to lock out the knees, and there shouldn't be any discomfort anywhere in the body at all. So let's try a minute. I'll meet you on the up. Where's my go? Start. So here, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, 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 exhale. Forward and flex the foot if it feels good. Coming up to halfway. Lift that chest. Stay with it if you can, or bring your head to the floor. I'm getting really warm. I've got just over 10 seconds. Keep lifting through the chest if you're with me. Have a knee hug if you stopped. Keep lifting up through. Shoulders dropping down. Last one. And rest. Stretch up. Knees on chest. Deep breaths. Knee hug. Rotate if it feels good. We're going to take our legs side to side next. Take your foot Carefully down to the floor. Stop your clock. Stop, stop, stop. And then move back to the side. Take your legs side to side. So bring your knees together first of all and have your hands flat on the floor. If this feels a bit too uncomfortable anywhere, it's much easier with your hands on your tummy. So just take your legs side to side. Notice the buttocks completely coming off the floor, and this is to bring you some length across the side of your body. If you're feeling that you're quite flexible, you could put your hands again, as we said, further away from the body, or you could cactus your arms up, and that's going to increase this stretch. But please go with the one that's most comfortable for you. So I'm just doing this to give my spine a little twist. And I'm not using the Pilates breath. This is our movement at the end of the session. So I can feel that really low down on my sacrum, there's a little tight spot. So as I'm doing this, I'm working in that area. So try that with the legs closed, and then try it with your legs apart. See what it feels like. If you like to linger a little bit, linger. If it feels good, turn your head. If it doesn't, just relax your head, relax your eyes and face. Just keep yourself centered with your gaze. And those who are still checking in on their tummy muscles here, you can also just see if there's any pressure anywhere on the top of the linea alba down. Just notice how that feels. And then we can take a pause on one side. So let's take a pause on one side. Pick a side. Remember, your arms are cactusing up, or maybe they're just resting close to the body. And let these legs fall, because what they're trying to do is hold on a little bit. So if you feel like you're holding on, bring that foot closer, or bring the other foot closer, and try and find a point of ease where you can let go. And even in the pelvic floor area, just notice if you're still clenching your chest, your lips, your jaw, your pelvic floor, clenching somewhere. And then trying the other side. So coming back with a little bit of care. And just take your legs where they feel they want to go. So notice where there's any pulling, any muscles holding on and creating tensions. We're trying to find the fine balance between the muscles responding by letting go and our bodies being able to maintain this static stretch. So adjust yourself so you're 100% comfortable and take a couple of breaths. Really good. So bringing yourself back up. Let's take these legs together, feet together, and then either rest with your knees this way for 3 breaths, or this way, depending on how you feel in your pelvis today. 3 breaths. Noticing the rising and falling, letting everything soften. And then if you're like me, the legs open, support those legs back together, bring them onto the chest, bring your nose towards your knees. Maybe just one more time, or do more if you have time. And then just ask yourself to roll over. Pause before you come sitting up. Done a good workout today. We're on time. I'm just going to walk myself over to you. Bring my stuff. And let's do a quick 2 minutes. 5 minutes, pimp minutes, bring my chair, checking in. Always happy to answer questions about your fitness and well-being. Part of my job encompasses all of fitness and well-being. So we're not just talking about our physical health, we're also talking about our mental health as well. And we all know it is tiring being mum. I never heard a mum who says that she is not tired. So we all know that it's really important to take care of ourselves. We've been talking about rest, and we've been talking about stretching, we've been talking about posture in our chats. We're also going to talk about a little bit more about sleep, a little bit more about hydration and about healing foods. But for today, I just wanted to grab something to show you about our stretching. I've got some notes here about the stretching, and I will make an effort to do another video with some stretches, the bilingual videos, and put those in the group for you so that we can, I'll demo those stretches outside for you. Yeah, so have a little drink. Cheers. And well done, Diane, at this fitness today. Oh, probably recognise this. So one of the things I learned in my training a long time ago, somebody gave me this example, one of my trainings. So this is blue tack. So when it's cold and you pull it, it rips like that. So if you get it and you warm it up, some of you may know where I'm going with this conversation already. You guessed right. So here, if I warm that up and I just give it a little bit of a massage and a bit of heat, then when we're working with our muscles, they have a little bit of a longer stretch before they snap. Okay, so the point is that we mobilise our joints and we warm our bodies through before we stretch. It's particularly relevant, not in this season, but as you know, we enter the colder seasons, and we do get more colder seasons, don't we, up here in the north of the map. So just thinking about how that is in your body. So you're warming up your muscles so that they're more pliable. And then, of course, when we're talking about overstretching to the point of it snapping, it's very difficult to tear a muscle. It happens a lot, doesn't it, in footballers and athletes. It's very difficult. You have to be working quite extreme force to tear a muscle. Of course, if you've had a road accident or a different type of injury, then that's different. There's a different load of force involved in that, and you can see why that would happen. But in terms of us, we're not going to tear a muscle. If we're hypermobile, we obviously want to keep within a much more comfortable range on our stretching. And as we discussed last week or this week on Tuesday in the beginners, that even with the relaxing going around, you wouldn't damage yourself unless you were actually causing yourself pain whilst you were stretching. So you wouldn't be doing deep, intensive flexibility building exercises in your basic fitness. You just wouldn't need to do those things. So try not to worry about too much of overstretching. You will be overstretching if you're spending too long in a stretch, if there is too much tension. So think about a scale of 1 to 10, and then think about where your pain is along the 1 to 10, and you'll know straight away because your body will send you feedback if you're doing too much stretching. So as I'm sitting here in the chair, I'm sitting on the edge of your cushion or your sofa, you can just do a little stretch here and just feel how that feels and mark it out of 1 to 10. Or does that feel maximum stretch? Is this 5 on a scale of 1 to 10? That's a really good marker. So that's a chest stretch. I'm going to finish off today by just showing you how to release tension in this area, and you might enjoy it. We have lots of layers of fascia, and fascia is a very kind of thin material. It's a bit like, if you've seen a haggis, excuse me, if you've seen a haggis, it's a bit like that. The skin of that, the stomach lining. If you think about that kind of material in the body, it's kind of like that. So this is quite thick, but the fascia is very thin, and it's there's lots of layers of it as well, and you've got it all over your body. So here, put one hand somewhere on your chest, and what I'm going to do is just pull that skin down away from the fascia on my neck, so underneath the skin. So just pull it down or go across your shoulder, and then try and look in the opposite way by maintaining a bit of tension through your skin, and you'll feel a bit of a stretch. So I'm going to find a bit of a really big stretchy bit there, and then I'm going to look that way And I can hear little snap, crackle and pop noises. And I'm working really gently. I'm going to do it on the other side. So settle in for a couple of breaths there. I just took a couple of breaths. We're doing this very rapidly. I'm not spending time on this. This is short practice. I'm just searching for where there's a release. And you can do that all over your body. And once you get more familiar with your body, you'll find there's little insertion points at the joint that hold the tiniest of tension. And that's why when you go to a physio, or that they'll poke you in that point, it's where all the muscles are really going to the point at the end of the joint. As the most tension is in that bit at the end. These muscles are long, the tension is held right at the joint point, and that's the most bundled up bit there, and that's why we tend to get more joint ache. I hope that makes sense. I hope you've enjoyed today's session. I have enjoyed delivering the session for you. I will see you next week, where we will continue with our fabulous sessions. If you have any pictures of your feet doing exercises during this session, why not send those to us? You don't have to be full body shots. Shots of your feet and your baby's feet after doing the session, they are cute and we would like to see them, so please pop those in and share those with us. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, and then I will be back here next Friday. Have a great weekend. May you be well, may you be happy. Bye for now.